idea was to start doing these on a video platform, which is something that we definitely want to be rolling out in the next like days, literally days ahead. But unfortunately, we had a little bit of technical difficulty setting up all the stuff in order to do that tonight. Nevertheless, excited to do kind of like a different type of happy hour AMA type format, where we can bring some of the community members in, some of the team in, and just get a bigger picture of what's going on at PathDAO, and then also open up the floor to you guys in order to ask some questions. So going forward, Floppy Disk, who's up here on the top, you guys can see, is going to be helping out with doing some of the AMAs and really just helping us open up the content production that we're doing. Right now we're doing about 2 AMAs a week with partners, and we'd like to really increase that amount in the weeks ahead. Floppy, can you unmute yourself?
Yep, there I am. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for inviting me to host these happy hours with you. I'm very excited.
Yeah, no. So I've known Floppy for a number of years. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? I know you've been involved in crypto since probably about 2014?
2016 probably. I'm one of those sad stories that bought a bunch of Bitcoin real early in 2016 and then sold too early. But luckily I got back into crypto at the beginning of last year. COVID, everybody was sort of figuring out what to do, and a few friends, including Don Johnson, we got together and started throwing around alpha, trying to figure out what projects to get involved in. And so yeah, last year was a wild ride in crypto. We have learned so much, just like crash course in all things crypto. So yeah, I'm just very excited to be here, and this will be fun chatting with you guys.
Yeah, I want to make these like, we talk a lot about like, different stuff that's going on in like the whole, crypto world and everything. And so I want to make this like a cool opportunity for, for us to touch base like with the community, with the team, and then also like open the stage up. We're going to try to start doing these quite often. So it's not something that you're going to be seeing every 2 or 3 weeks. Like, we're going to be having these happy hours a lot, and I'm super excited to have you involved. I know you're an investor. Can you tell us a little bit about what projects like you're currently really excited about?
Yeah, so GameFi is like the hot topic in 2022, and as well as the DAO. So Path is obviously set up great in both of those areas. But yeah, as far as GameFi, Illuvium, I'm very excited about that one. Got in early, luckily, on that one. Yeah, I've been following that very closely. And then also Fancy Games is about to launch in a couple of days. I stayed up all night last night buying bird NFTs. People might be familiar with an all-nighter buying NFTs around here. But yeah, that was an interesting thing. That launches in a couple of days. And then there's like a DeFi project, Tokamak, which is this big liquidity providing protocol. People may have heard of that. Excited about that one too. But mainly GameFi. I'm just excited to get back into gaming and do some NFT gaming.
Yeah, I know the other day we were even talking about building some special gaming computers. The first person I want to let in tonight is to say it lightly, a bit of a legend within the group. Toby, can you unmute yourself?
Oh, hello there.
How are you doing? Good morning.
Oh my, I just finished class actually. So after immediately like finishing my lecture, I just hopped into my room, like Drew, I'm back, yo. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of burnt out, but at the same time, glad to be here.
Yeah, well, you got to take care of your classes first. That always takes precedent. Toby, I've had a really fun time like joining some of your Twitch videos. I love doing the duck races with you the other week. Can you tell like the community like a little bit more about yourself, where you live, kind of a little bit, yeah, like just a little bit about your background. Yeah, tell us even like what you're studying in school and stuff.
Okay, I guess it's like a background check with Toby Tato. Okay, so okay, hi everyone. My name is Toby. But in my Web3 name, you can call me Toby Tato, I guess. I live in Malaysia. I'm based in Johor Bahru, which is JB. It's like super near Singapore. So yeah, I'm currently 21, studying finance, taking my degree, and I'm in my third year, which is absolute hell, by the way. But yeah, so I'm really into gaming, I guess. So that's why I'm here for the games and the community and the memes. So yeah, that's about it, I guess.
The meme king.
Yes, the meme lord himself.
Yeah, so Toby, this is Floppy here. When did you get into gaming? I know I got in at an early age. I'm a child of the late '80s and early '90s even, hence the floppy disk name. But yeah, I remember
Oh, no
playing
wonder.
games on DOS and the early Mac computers and everything. Yeah, when did you get into gaming, and what are you excited to play?
So I think like the earliest memories that I have of gaming was like playing marbles on the streets with my friends. It was like not like actual gaming, but then my dad actually got me a Game Boy, which was very nice of him. So I was very into Pokemon back then. Pokemon was life. Everything was about Pokemon, the latest series of Pokemon, the Pokemon cards and whatnot. So yeah, then eventually we got a PC. Then there's a computer at the house now, so immediately start spamming Dota games and whatnot. So yeah, I would say I got into gaming like very early, very early in my childhood, like at the age of 6, 7, 8. Yeah, then it just snowballed from there. Until now, I still play a lot of games, but mostly Web 2 and Web 3, I would say. Actually, Infinity has been a very huge part of my life, as you can see here, my profile picture. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so Toby, I don't know if this is like an easy question for you, but like right now, like currently, like what's your favorite game to play?
Oh my. Damn. Actually, it's, to say your favorite. Oh my god, it's so hard to pick.
A lot of pressure here.
Yes, yes. Okay. Um. Okay. I'm just gonna say this. I'm actually a very big card game fan. So I'm a big nerd of MTG. So yeah, I have a very, very big, huge collection. The original NFTs are, Magic the Gathering card.
Very cool.
So yeah, I've been still playing that since like, the dawn of time. I approached
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah, so still playing it physically, playing it online. So yeah, Magic the Gathering. If
Very
you guys
cool.
don't know, it's like a card game. So yeah, Magic.
I think most people know it. It's like, people know that. People know Pokemon. So what upcoming projects are you that aren't even released yet are you excited about? I know you mentioned Pokemon, and Illuvium is kind of going to be like that, where you like collect little characters and battle them. Yeah, what are you excited
Yeah.
about?
Okay, but I haven't really been looking into the newest card games and stuff. But one of the upcoming projects that I'm really interested in is like Big Time. Like, dude, the graphics on that game, man, are like just holy shit, so pretty. It's so I have no idea, but dude, it's just like so attractive from the raw
Yeah, for
world
sure.
to the map design, to the graphics. Holy shit! If this actually works out, right, I think I'm just gonna grind that game like for the entire month or so, just playing that. I have no idea what it's about, but dude, I just really like want to play that. So attractive though. But other than that, there's nothing really catching my eye at the moment. I'm still doing my own research, taking my own pace. So, but yeah, Big Time. Look into it,
Nice.
people. Yes.
Yeah, no, we had some opportunity to speak with the team from Big Time before we did our partnership announcement with them, and I've been following them real closely as they've been doing a lot of their reveals online with the characters and AAA graphics. The team behind that project is just it's a money experienced team. So yeah, I definitely share your excitement for that one.
Sorry. Let's go! Big time! Big time in the channel!
Hey, love it. Hey, stay on the stage here. I'm gonna put you on silent for a second, and then let's bring Jansen in. Who's the CEO of PathDAO. It's been a while since Jansen is checking all of the discords. It's tough. Like, he's got so much going on. He's juggling a lot, but what's pretty amazing, I'll hear from him and see that he's like reading and checking up all the chats and stuff. And, I'm excited to hear directly from him, but I just want to let everyone know also in the community that, even if he's not, commenting every hour in on the Discord, he's definitely reviewing all that stuff. And it's been pretty cool to see the community just not only grow in terms of the numbers, but just also grow just in terms of all the contribution and stuff. Jansen, can you hear me? Are you there?
Hello. Good to be around again.
Nice. Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Obviously, like, there's been a ton going on, with PathDAO. I'll start it off, like, in particular, like, we've been launching a lot of new partnerships. I think we've been averaging like at least one more around 2 partnerships announcements a week. When you think about like the new partnerships, can you tell us about, like, maybe, I know it's gonna be hard, but it's like, I'm putting you on the spot here. Can you tell us about like 2 or 3 that you're particularly excited about and why?
I mean, before even going into that question, right? I think first of all, the reason why we could get all these partnerships or these investment opportunities for the DAO, I think it's a massive thanks to a lot of our community members who are actively contributing to our alpha hunting program, right? So I think massive thanks, and continue to do so, right? Because I think that's how we grow in terms of our footprint in this whole GameFi environment, and as well as how we build our connections as well, right? Because these games know VC who knows games, and that's how we are getting more and more a larger pipeline for our deal flow, right? Which would benefit the DAO massively going down the road. So then back to the question, right? I think it's a bit hard. It's like trying to say which games are more biased towards, right? But maybe on top of my head, I think the few ones that I feel very excited about are games that are currently already ready to play, and they've shown some form of innovation in terms of be it the product design or the game design, or innovation in terms of the distribution of the games, right? How they actually ramp up the entire gamers to reach a critical mass, right? So I think one of the cool ones out there is this thing called MetaGod. This one is it's actually a very indie game. I mean, for those of you who only play AAAs, you might not like it. But for us, we've realized why this is very cool is when we tested out the game, people in our core team, that before we actually invest in some of these games, we would get our guys to test it out, right, and see whether it's fun to play. And these guys got addicted in some form, right? So like, they kind of nailed the gaming progression or the gaming experience, right? Even though it's a very indie 2D environment. And the cool thing is that they are launching a really cool dungeon model, right? Where, it helps guilds like us really bring in a massive player base, and it creates a very sustainable economic loop as well. And one more cool tip as well, it's that these guys managed to land MrBeast as one of their key influencers. I mean, apparently MrBeast was, like, once they could set up their game, make it playable, right? He was willing to actually go and test it out or like create a video around this game, right? And it's going to be quite massive in terms of, retail adoption coming into the space game. So there's one that I'm personally very excited about. The other one is Space Misfits. Personally, for me, this game it shows a lot of promise because they're already playable today. I think we are, as a guild, are starting to create a structured way of how our gamers and how you guys can start playing into this environment. The earning potential is not there yet, but I think when you start playing it, you get more understanding of how to perform well, and then once they unlock their economics, you'll be able to start participate in the whole play to earn environment. But I think Space Misfits, after talking to the team, right, these guys are stacked. They know exactly what they're doing, and a lot of massive backers as well are behind them, right? So I think for us, this is the next big thing to watch out for. One of those things that you might not hear today, but it's going to be big down the road, right? And the third one, it's going to be about DeFi Disrupt. Now, DeFi Disrupt is a very innovative game. It's not a typical you play with your fingers kind of game, right? This one, it's about going out there, using your GPS, using your phone's camera. So if you think about it, it's like Pokemon Go, but it's a different game style. It's like you're actually running away from robot hunters that's trying to kill you. I feel like the kind of gaming environment brings a different flavor into the gaming industry, right? Where it's not just about playing on your handphone, but it's about getting out there, exploring the world while gaming, right? So I think that's a third one that personally super excited about. And I think you guys should start paying attention on these, start joining their communities as well, and see how even on a personal basis you can be involved, right? Because I think these are really cool things coming up on the horizon.
Yeah, cool. DeFi, where you gave a little window into the future with DeFi, right? Because that's something that I think we're going to be sharing more with the community next week. So that's it's cool to hear you're excited about that.
Hey, I wanted to touch on Scholar numbers real quick. We all know they're growing super fast. I think PathDAO now has over 5,000 gamers. Can you tell us a little bit about this growth and where you see the number going in the future? In the near future, and then overall goals long term as well.
Yeah. Right. I think these numbers, right, and the growth behind these numbers is a testament to the strength of the community we're building, right? People like Toby, for example, right, creates massive hype and excitement and engagement within a community. And these numbers, it's just going to continue growing. So just to give you folks a bit more flavor of the strategy behind the gamer environment, right? So internally, what we've realized is that, okay, in 2022 and 2023, you're going to see a massive influx of games coming in. And we're at a stage where right now, there are more games being developed than gamers participating in the Web3 ecosystem. So what's happening is then, all the games that we talk to, all the games when we actually go to them for a seat at a private or their cap table, they're asking us on how do we get gamers into their ecosystem, right? And fundamentally, there's something that what we as a guild can do, and where other VCs or other kind of funders can't do, right? So fundamentally, what we've realized is then the guys who control distribution, or the guys that can bring a massive gamer base into this Web3 gaming industry, are going to be kingmakers of the Web3 games. You think about it, right? Why? What's that device called? A Nintendo, right? Why Nintendo did very well, right, in the Web2 gaming environment is because they control distribution, right? They had a device that controlled distribution, right? And where all these other major publishers in the value chain, the guys that were kingmakers in the Web2 gaming space were guys that control distribution. And we see the same effect being played out in the Web3 space. But now it's such a nascent environment where we have more developers, but not many distributors or people who bring gamers to the games. And that's where we want to position PathDAO as, right? So going forward, what we are actually building out is we are doubling down a lot in building Path as a massive esports brand and an esports gaming community. So you think about the likes of EVOS, RQ in Southeast Asia, right? Or I don't know what are the famous ones in the States, Navi and stuff like that, right? So I think the idea it's about creating that kind of massive gaming community. Not just around play to earn. Play to earn is just a subset of it, right? But it's a gaming community around, you just want to come and hang out because we do really cool stuff on the ground. We really create a sense of community and excitement where gamers would just want to be with us, right? Because we are a strong family and we explore this whole Web3 gaming environment together. So this number was going to just grow. We have a target of about 100,000 active gamers by year end. And that's going to set us in a very, very strong position in this whole Web3 gaming environment. So yeah, it's just going to grow rapidly. We have doubled down the team. We are funding an esports team and an esports growth management team already internally. And we are actively also recruiting, right? So I think people from our gaming guild community, you guys are in this call, there's going to be more and more opportunities for you folks to step up, to be head of games, to be head of our community, to help us grow these numbers massively, right? So more and more opportunities to come, and excited to grow with you guys together as well.
Yeah, that number 100,000 is mind blowing. So yeah, very excited to see the future growth in this one.
Yeah, Jansen, 100,000. That's I'm hearing this correct.
Yes, sir. That's the target that we're giving to the guild team.
Hey, I don't want to be inappropriate, but
Jensen,
let's go. That's amazing.
Yeah, unreal.
Oh fucking.
Oh fucking.
Let's go.
Could you give the community members an idea? Can you give an idea how PathDAO looks for projects? Because I think that's something people would want to know. Like, why is PathDAO different to all these other guilds, and how do we look for projects that we want to get into?
Yeah, man. I think the key thing that we do it's we leverage a lot on our community, right? I think honestly, people like you, Jaxie, one of the major contributors to us. It's about information, right? Fundamentally, it's about how do we know what's happening before other people know about it, right? And that comes in two forms, right? One is from our community, who are really involved in the ecosystem, so are connected to founding teams. But it's also through our personal network of VCs, right, that we have been building across the past 3-4 months. That's how we also get really some form of insider information, right? Like this game is going to be massively backed. Team is stacked. We get also a first pass into joining a game before other guilds or other investors are aware of, right? And once we get into it, we're early, and that's how we really generate alpha for our DAO.
Very exciting. I still can't get over 100,000. I was excited at 5,000. We were I was following the numbers in January. I was following the numbers in January, and 5,000. I was jumping up and down. 100,000.
Yeah, because I think just to add on
serious
that,
army.
Yeah, it's a very, very big goal, right? But what we are doing is, beyond just having this guild focused environment, we are also building out product in place, right? To really create an environment where gamers would love to chill out in our ecosystem, right? So one example of a key product that's being rolled out, is still being in the MVP stages. It's a social fi platform for gamers. So what we've seen is that, today, if you think about it, right, where do Web3 gamers hang, right? They either hang out in the game discords, or they hang out in the guild discords, right? There's not much of a kind of cross gamer environment where thoughts and content could cross pollinate, right? So what we are building on the sideline, it's a project that we're incubating. It's basically a social fi platform for gamers. If you think about it, it's like LinkedIn, where instead of you guys sharing professional stuff, it's about sharing about games, right? You did a 360 no scope. You share that video. We are using Web3 elements to incentivize that kind of content engagement. And the idea is that more and more gamers would find a reason to hang out, right, on these platforms, and then we bring games into these platforms for discovery. We bring more gamers into these platforms for social engagements and sharing, right? So I think that's something that we are building out in the space that's quite new. And in fact, we've been speaking to a lot of builders in the space, right? And I think many of them see this as a very exciting progression within the GameFi X social-fi environment, right? So this is just a flavor of what's being done. When it is more ready to be announced, I think you guys will probably be the first to see this product rolling out there and be the first to actually try it, right? Because we are going to start, building our gamer profiles and our gamers on this platform itself. So yeah, just a bit of a sneak peek, right, of what else is actually happening to enable us to grow at that scale.
No, I think that's something I'm really excited about. When I first kind of heard of that vision of having the kind of like a LinkedIn platform
one of the
for
things
gamers.
I do want to ask.
Yeah, go ahead, Jackie.
So you know how we want to get to 100,000 scholars, right? With all these other projects coming up, what are some of the key things, that like PathDAO looks for when it comes to projects? I guess, like, what is the sauce that has, because, in any DAO guild, it's all about the winners we pick, right? So, is there anything you can say to that, to like how we're gonna get to 100,000, while making sure we mitigate risk and pick the best projects, I suppose? Like, what is something that you look for in these projects that we get into that
So I think
makes it different than all these other?
Yeah. I think, but before we go down to the question, right, I think, Jackie, I think one thing we wanted to put a note out as well to the wider community here, right? When we say 100,000 gamers, right, it's a mixed bag of, the play to earn scholars as well as, gamers who just come and game, be it in a free to play Web3 games or just a cohort of people, right, who come and, chill together and play together, right? So that 100,000 is a gamer number, right? A subset of which will be scholars. The scholar portion, that's something that we have to be more careful, right, as a DAO, because from a scholar perspective, there's always going to be asset deployment and a risk tied to those assets, right? So I think on that point, it's about two parts, right? I think one, it's getting a right team in place, which we have today, who are super familiar with the whole GameFi environment, right? Like knowing how assets appreciate and depreciate over time, and being able to assess the stage of these different games, right? And whether the economies are sustainable or not, right? So I think a lot of times of what we've seen, at least at these nascent stages of GameFi projects, a lot of the scholarship programs tend not to be as sustainable, right? They always have a peak and then a trough after, right? Because a lot of them haven't designed the right economic models or like the burn sinks for their tokens going forward. But what we've seen is that, there are more and more projects right now behind the scenes, right, that are being built up where they have some form of, they understood, right, like, you can't just have a Ponzi model where, the economics of the play to earn is being fed just by new player growth, right? So as more and more of these games evolve and they start learning from the mistakes of, the earlier games, we might start seeing more and more potential for a scholar growth count. But right now, from a pure scholar or asset rental perspective, I think on our end, there's always a view of also balancing risk and not just growing at all costs, right? I think that's that thing that we wanted to highlight as well.
It's well said. Hope this puts more faith in everyone too. I think PathDAO's in really good hands, guys.
Yeah, no, we got some really cool stuff going on. Jensen, I want to pick your brain a little bit. I know it's hard to like have a crystal ball, but let's look at the end of 2022, the start of 2023. What's the most popular game? What are all of us scholars want to play?
It's gonna be very tough to answer, right? Because to be honest, if you think, being a gamer, right, and we all know that every gamer has a different preference, and that's the reason why from a gaming perspective, we are trying to increase the amount of Web3 games that our scholars can get to participate in, right? Be it is a first-person shooter or a mobile or a RPG or whatnot, right? Because everyone has a different flavor or preference. But I think maybe if I would just so I can get an answer to you, right? If there's a game that's going to be probably most played within within our DAO, right, I would think that it has to have two components to it, right? One is, it's actually three components to it, right? One, from an individual perspective, it's fun to play, be it because of progression or because of the gaming excitement, right? Two, if there's people that you could play with, and there's a whole alliance or the kind of teaming environment, right? So a game that has that kind of format where you could attack together or you could defend together, right? So that's an element I would believe that would be a key driver. And the third would be a game that has a very sustainable element of, I would say, earning or play and earn, right? So I think if I put these three together, I think the game that's on top of my mind right now, it's like League of Kingdoms, for example, because I think League of Kingdoms is one of those games where it's fun. I mean, even I played casually with our cohort of people, like I think Mix, Retinoid, and Sirwalk, right? And these folks are a fun bunch of people to play with, and it has an element of alliance, attacking and defending together. I think there's an upcoming major event where continent versus continent happening, right? Where gamers could actually really work together as a clan or alliance and really like attack together as a group or defend together as a group. And to be honest, the earning potential for League of Kingdoms is actually decent, right? I think if you are in the game for probably a month and a half, once you reach like castle level 25 or 30, right? You can get a $2 to $4 a day, right? Just by selling resources. And that's before even like some of the major NFT in-game elements are launched, right? So I think League of Kingdoms is one of the very promising ones that I see our community growing quite a bit with it.
That's a very interesting concept that you brought up. Like if you could pit guild versus guild in like a massive game setting, that would be absolutely insane for esports.
Yeah, man. I mean, you think about it, right? The day where like Path versus YGG or Path versus Avocado. It's gonna be quite fun, right? It'll probably capture a lot of it.
That's wild.
Big hype.
That we were talking a little. Yeah, Toby is like all excited. we were talking like Jansen. I remember we were talking a little bit about that with like Grand Galaxy Fight Club, right? Because like that's a project where because of their cross IP, you're gonna not only have like NFT collections like battling each other, but like guilds as well. It's cool to hear that from you.
Yeah, man.
This is a little bit of a sensitive subject, but obviously the market's been down, right? Can you talk about like how that affects Path? Like, positive is it negative all the way? Is there a little bit of positive? Can you just, we all want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah. So three parts I'll probably touch on this question. Right? So I mean, typically when markets hit a bearish sentiment, alts tend to underperform as well. So I think from a token perspective, I think you will see a lot of devaluing behind it. But I think the good thing about Path is that we always have a treasury that's backing the value of the tokens, right? And one of the two silver linings, right? One is that when the market gets the bearish environment, there's a lot actually opportunities for opportunistic buys. And in fact, actually, the investment team has been monitoring the secondary markets, right? Because you think about it, there are actually a lot of promising GameFi protocols out there, which are actually still quite overvalued even in this bear environment. But if the market takes another 80% correction, right? Which we don't know, it might happen, it might not, right? But it creates a very good opportunity because the DAO it's cash rich at this stage. So it creates a lot of a opportunities where we buy in now, and when the market corrects back in a positive trajectory, we are in a very good state, right? Because we got in cheap. So I think that's one. I think, but the second thing that I want to touch about is that a lot of projects right now that we have invested in have been delaying their IDOs, right, and their launches, because when the market is bearish, no one wants to launch a token. So that basically delays the kind of growth multiples that we want to see. But from our angle, that's a good thing actually, because what it means is that while the launches are being delayed, these teams are actually funded from the private rounds, right? So building is happening. They are continually building the products, the games, right? So by the time where they actually reach a time where they are comfortable with an IDO, it will be at a point where the game's at a more mature environment, which means that, the multiples that we will see from a public sentiment standpoint will be higher. So I think that in itself is actually a good thing, right? Even in this bear market. Because in the end, I think if you zoom out, right, this whole GameFi environment is just at the starting phase. There might be dips, there might be peaks, right? But in the end, if you zoom out in the next 2 to 3 years, right, you're going to be you're going to be that point on the graph where you just can't see your value on the y-axis, right? It's because we are such a nascent stage of these technological wave. So yeah.
Yeah, and you've got so much capital on the sidelines waiting to be deployed, which is a phenomenal position to be in. Yeah.
Man.
Hey, so I've got a question that I think is it's keeping everybody on the edge of their seat. So obviously the community is excited about the upcoming CEX launch. And I know you can't give us any concrete dates, names, or anything, but can you talk a little bit about the process of getting on an exchange and just reassure the community once again that it is indeed happening soon on the horizon?
Yeah, so I think just for full transparency to the community, right? I think in the previous town hall we touched about it. We delayed the initial CX listing because of 2 reasons, right? One was January was quite a bear market, and the impact of having a CX would not be positive. The second reason was we actually were in talks with a tier 1 exchange. And in fact, we actually got a green light from them, right, for a launch after the Chinese New Year horizon, which is basically this week and next week. But then I think they had a second round of thoughts, and then they decided to put a plug on that, right? So on my end, I mean, I got frustrated. I guess you guys will have been frustrated as well. But I mean, you can't do much about that. I mean, that decision is by the folks. So we are still on track for then our CX on the tier 2 exchange. This will happen actually around the end of next week. We'll be doing the announcements really soon. We are coordinating with the exchange on the marketing plans, right? On how we're rolling out and how the announcement should be. But it's going to happen very, very soon. So I think that's that.
That's awesome. Yeah, everybody knows that the volume and the eyes are what drives a project like this. So that's awesome to hear.
Yep.
I didn't want to say anything about the dates, but if Jansen's saying stuff, then we have all approval. Jackie, I want to get you back in here. Obviously, I think some people realize what a big contributor you are to the project. But Jackie, can you unmute yourself? I'd love to bring you on and ask you some questions and stuff. Jackie might not be hearing me right now. Yeah. We can ask a couple of questions to Jansen since we have him here. Let me jump in the chat here and see if people have been posting some questions.
I can ask one real quick while you're looking.
Yeah,
Jansen,
go ahead.
I was curious about PegAxie. Everybody knows there's a super strong team behind it. Can you tell us like a little bit more about them? Do you know some sort of details that you could tell about that project?
Do you want me to take it, or you want Jackson to take it? I mean, Jackson.
Well, does Jaxie hear us right now? This alpha came from Jaxie, so I think that we definitely want to get his follow up on this.
I think Jaxie dropped off.
He bailed.
He got disconnected or something. But maybe I can share a bit. So our team is actually working quite closely with Corey and his team and PegAxie, right? So I think the cool thing about what PegAxie has been doing is the team the team has been trying to study exactly what Xe did wrong and trying to see how they could build something better, right? So I think what they've done well was I think they got a lot of key influencers into the space. They got a lot of excitement in terms of how they've designed their systems that made it very easy for guilds to come in. You know, the whole horse rental kind of system, right? So it kind of created a lot of hype and generated a lot of influx of guilds participating because it was very easy to participate in that kind of gaming environment. But I think going forward, I think what's exciting is that these folks know that they need to create burn sinks to create a very sustainable environment, right? So, you know, they have stuff like stadiums coming up, you know, all these kind of environments that will hopefully actually create a more sustainable ecosystem from an economic standpoint, right? And the next cool thing I think about PathDAO, I think it's public information, but I think what they're saying is that, you know, if they're reaching a 100,000 gamer count, they will start going on a CEX, and the CEX that they will be listing on, it's a crypto.com, because crypto.com is their funders, right? So I think that's a potential alpha, right? If you think about it, to you folks. But I think just monitor closely. I think they're almost reaching their 100K gamer count. So I would actually love to understand, you know, if there's more hidden alphas that probably Jaxi knows, right?
Yeah.
I think we got Jaxi back in now. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I had to move to my phone because my desktop's not, like, it's lagging like crazy.
Hey, listen, we wanted to do this on video tonight, and we had to switch it up at the last minute too. So all is good.
Yeah.
But Jaxi, like, honestly, first of all, congratulations on winning the Alpha competition in January. Yeah. This was the first competition we had, but you know, you're bringing some incredible alpha to PathDAO. Anyone who doesn't recognize or realize what Jaxi has done, simply give a look on the dashboard. You know, we should all be on our hands and knees, you know, probably kissing the feet of Jaxi. So can you just, you know, I know that Jansen talked a little bit about it, but can you just tell us a little bit about, like, the project you suggested in January, kind of like, your feelings leading up to it, and just share with us.
Yeah, so I got into this project called PathDAO back in November, because I'm in because funny enough, people look at me like I'm this big expert, but it's crazy how much you can learn. And literally, I got into crypto like February of last year, but I spent like 24/7 on this. So it's actually pretty crazy, like how things have literally developed in the last 12 months. But being a huge gamer geek, you know. But yeah, no. So I got onto PathDAO back in November because I started a bunch of these like groups on WhatsApp and Telegram and Discord, you know, communities for crypto and stuff, and just gaming just kind of spoke to me. And so, you know, Axie was kind of taking a tumble since the summer, and we're all looking for this crazy new project. And PathDAO came across my one of the telegrams I'm in about their breeding event in November. So I remember talking about it in my Discord too, because the initial breeding event was 50 PGX, which was like $10 at the time. So I was like, oh shit, like this is a pretty dope, you know, $10 for an NFT, like, you know, that's gonna like blow up, right? So I jumped on, and I think it was like in early December, like then they started issuing this out. But the biggest difference I noticed was how active the developers were, and I looked through their white paper and everything, and I started, you know, I brought it up to PathDAO because I was like, guys, like this is gonna blow up like crazy, because the biggest difference with this and Axie is they kind of solved all the pain points with scholarships. They have a really good Discord. Like if anyone here hasn't in PathDAO yet, the biggest sauce I think with PathDAO versus Axie Infinity, you know, in Luvium or all these other projects, is the fact that they have a customer support team. So as you guys know, with any crypto project you get into, being able to talk to the developers or anyone on the team is very important, right? Because you kind of want to be assured something's happening. Like even in PathDAO, you know, when everyone's like panicking, you know, people want to be assured. Well, their customer support is absolutely amazing. If you have any issues, you could just tag one of their moderators. They get back to you in like 2 minutes. I even put this video up in my YouTube video. Like I just said, like check out the customer support guys. In like 30 seconds, they like replied. So if you have any issues, and they have 24/7 support around the whole world, because they have people from like Brazil, South Africa, Philippines, like they cover all time zones. So, and one of the key things Corey talked about was they're scaling up customer support as the Discord grows. So when I first got in, I think there was like less than 10,000 people in the Discord when I joined, and then it quickly blew up to like 40K in December, and that's when I brought it up to Jansen and everyone. I'm like, look guys, like I think this is going to be a huge project, because the other thing is one of the issues with Axie Infinity is growth, right? So if everyone remembers back in June, July, August, September, the growth rate was just parabolic. So one of the things they did with Pegaxie is they introduced these cooldowns. So you can't absorb like $1 million in Pegaxie in one day. Like in Axie Infinity, if you wanted to spend $1 million breeding, you could do that in one day. You can't with Pegaxie. So it's kind of like anti-whale in a way, but also if you in early enough, when everyone starts aping in, they're just going to increase the floor price. So we started building our position back in early December, like after the first week of December when the prices kind of settled down. And then after the bleeding that happened towards the end of December, right, when Bitcoin and ETH and all the like tokens like dipped like 50%, right, I noticed Pegaxie was like one of the only projects that didn't actually take a dip. Like everything else was a sea of red except Pegaxie. And I was telling them like, guys, we should dial this up like now, because I'm not the only one looking at this. So I think that's when they started, when PathDAO started injecting more capital. And then I built up a bigger position at the same time. And then, as January came around, this was like the only GameFi project that was green in the whole sea of red. And everyone just started aping in, and I wrote up my analysis, I think, in one of the chats, because we got in so early, like our portfolio blew up. I think when we got in, token price was like 3.5 cents for Vis, and PGX was like 20 cents, and then it blew up to like, I think PGX went up to like $1, and this went up all the way to like 25 cents. So, but because we got all our stuff, like all our resources, like when it was like under 6 cents, like everything blew up like 600%, and then we kind of de-risked as we went up. I guess another person to give props to is PathDAO KS. He's been working hard on this, and I think now, even though Pegasus took a dip because we got in so early, it's our position's pretty much fine. So
it's been fun seeing. Yeah, it's been fun seeing all the stuff going on in the Discord. Like you were shouting it out, and the team was definitely like, that's the thing, is that it's like the team's definitely following all the stuff that's going on in there. And I think like just even listening to you now, like obviously you can like hear like your excitement still behind the project. And like I remember
there's still a lot of stuff to come.
Yeah, and I remember seeing all these posts and just being like, man, like let's go on this. And what's really cool is that there's 3 alpha winners from January, right? Obviously, clear and far away, the information you gave, as you can see in the dashboard, is it's that golden ticket, right?
Load it up, but
yeah,
it's like crazy because it's. Here's the thing too. Like, I don't know how far we got to. I think PathDAO put in like over 500,000, but I'm pretty sure we got most of it back already. We should be closing in to getting our entire investment back probably end of the month, realistically, at this price still.
Yeah, Jansen, you want to share
how far we're at, Jansen? Or?
Yeah, we fully actually covered our position on Pegaxie, right? And then right now basically everything is just house money, right? So I think that's it's a good place to play from, right? But I think now it's about a stage of maximizing.
Yeah, it's pretty much house money after this month at this point. That's the thing. And even with the amount of Pegas we have, like minimum, we should be clearing like $500,000 a month profit minimum. Like it should be easily more than that. I'm just like ballparking, but even with the current prices right now, it should be like $500,000 a month going into the DAO for like other projects,
Let's
you know?
go, let's
It's like
go,
our biggest
let's go, let's go, let's go.
That's filthy. That's
Yeah,
filthy.
so but the other thing is, here's the crazy part. PegXE doesn't even have they have a CEX listing coming up. It's gonna, I think it's gonna be crypto.com because they're on their cap table as a partner. So, Corey, I have actually done videos with Corey. Like I got on a video with him a while back, but they're gonna go for a CEX listing for PGX when they get to a little over 100,000 daily active users. They should be hitting that probably end of the month. So I'm like 70% sure we're gonna see a listing either in March. By April, they're definitely going to have a listing for PGX. So, it's looking really good. So this is the thing, like, we're so early to the party. This isn't like Axie Infinity because, everyone got into Axie after they started getting the exchange listings. Like, they don't even have a listing yet. This is how early we are. And the thing is, even though there's these like dips, so the reason there was a really big dip yesterday was because the problem is the player base has grown up like 20, 30x, but the liquidity pool has only grown like 3x right now. So anytime now that there's so many players, like any price movement is pretty much affecting the liquidity pools, right? So, but it's fine because the thing is, if you look at the burn rate, it's still better than all these other projects. And the one interesting thing that I'm looking forward to is their prestige. So prestige is where they're introducing progression with the breed count. So if you look at, everyone knows Axie, you know how as you breed more Axies, like the parent Axie just becomes useless, right? Because like it's worth less because it's more expensive to produce an offspring. Well, with PegAxie, what they're introducing is like in Call of Duty where you have the prestige mode. If you get to a 7-7 Pega, you're going to be able to burn it with another 7-7. And you're going to be able to get a whole new Pega where you can start earning PGX as well as more VIS basically. And the thing is, right now, I think the biggest issue with Axie Infinity 2 is the fact that as floor price dips, people are going to breed less, but the thing is the mint amount is going to remain the same, roughly, right? So this is kind of one of the ways they're solving this issue is by introducing desirability of like higher, if the utility makes sense and the rewards make sense, they're going to do it. However, the thing is guilds don't have to spend their own money progressing their own Pegas. Like even if it doesn't make sense numbers wise, they're going to be introducing something called lease to breed. So this is where the biggest issue with ownership is scholars that are playing for PegAxie as an example, they're taking a smaller cut, but it's going to take them a lot longer for them to like get their own Pega, right? So this lease to breed system is where guild owners can actually give them more but a portion of that's going to be allocated to like an escrow account. So they're going to spend it on breeding. This is going to make the whole prestige system a lot easier because the thing is many guilds, like even PathDAO, we're not going to go beyond the 3-7 breed count because 4 doesn't make sense. But it might make sense to a scholar if they're going to able to have like 3 Pegas and you give them like 30% or 40% with the extra padding going towards breeding. So the thing is, this is going to be one of the first games I think we'll see where bred assets are going to be worth more than virgin because the utility token that's being spent in this game is basically going to be retained. It's not lost. So I think we're going to start seeing bigger burns because if you look at the cosmetic event that they did, yesterday, it was like the day before yesterday, players spent $7 million worth of this in like under 47 minutes and they sold out. So, I mean, if they can do that, like I'm pretty sure the prestige system that they're going to roll out is going to burn quite a bit because, I mean, a 7-7 right now is going to be the equivalent of 41 pairs of zero breeds being bred. So I think they've solved a lot of issues like Axie Infinity wasn't able to solve, right? So it's kind of one of the reasons why I'm a little bit more bullish on it. The other thing is Stadium. So Stadium is basically the equivalent to land. You're not going to be able to buy a stadium with USDT. You're actually going to have to burn Pegas. So when they launch stadiums, the cheapest stadium is going to be 300 Pegas. So when they launch stadiums, I mean, if the rewards make sense, right? But when they launch stadiums, if any big players want to get a stadium, they're going to have to sweep the floor and buy 300 Pegas minimum. It goes from 300 all the way up to 10,000 Pegas. So it's great for the economy because it's going to maintain the floor. It's like the developers have found out literally like how to make sure their project stays alive and long term, because the biggest thing about any NFT project is you have to hold the floor. So by making people buy the floor and burning it for this high-end NFT, I mean, that pretty much helps there. And last thing really, I guess, is the fact that because, you know, PGX isn't on a CEX yet, I think once it gets listed, like, we're going to start seeing the token price moon like crazy, because there's so many VCs, DAOs, guilds who want to buy this token, but they can't because no one wants to spend $100,000 on a DEX and move the price up, right? Last thing is, I guess before you guys, you know, I guess for the whole dynamic stuff with Pegaxi is, this is the most interesting part, is only PathDAO and GuildFi out of all the big guilds out there like Merit, YGG, Blackpool, what else? There's Avocado, right? And all those other, like, smaller guilds and such.
Let's go.
Like,
Jackie,
like
we got this info from you. You know, this is
yeah,
exactly.
I know, that's the thing. So like the thing is, if you look at the
amazing.
verified guild list, it's only us and GuildFi. So YGG right now, they don't have a big position, because the problem is any of these big guilds, like, think about all those people that spent so much money on Axie Infinity. The thing is, if they want to jump in right now, they're just fill our bags, basically, because that's what I'm saying. It is kind of anti-whale in a way because of all those cooldowns they have with breeding. So with breeding, as an example, if you want to spend $100,000 in breeding, like, you can't do that in a day. Like, it's going to be spread out across a week, right? So same thing. Like, if Merit Circle wants to get into Pegaxi and spend $1 million, they either have to spend all that money on floor Pegas, or they're going to have to buy chunks of virgins at a time to breed. There's not enough virgins at floor price that's reasonable for someone to spend that much money. Like, it's going to take them days or even weeks to fill that position. So it's one of the reasons why the cooldowns that they added to the game is so unique. If you go to the marketplace right now, I think there's only like 400 virgins at any given time, but only the first 100 or so are like reasonable floor price. After that, the price just like blows up exponentially, right? So that's the thing, is like, even though like there's prices have come down a bit, there's still not enough like virgins on the marketplace for any big DAO, guild, fund or whatever to buy in to like make it worthwhile, unless they want to like sweep the floor, or like, you can't absorb $1 million in one day. It just doesn't happen.
No, I
Like,
mean,
you're gonna have to spread that across the week.
Yeah, you've helped position us so well. And I think what Jensen pointed on earlier is super important, in the sense that, like, we're playing with the bank's money at this point, right? Like, anyone in the group, anyone can go look at the dashboard and see like what this alpha has done literally in a month, you know? And this is, I mean, we all owe a thank you to you. And
I mean,
you know, the truth is that
this is gonna pull in so much money for us to get into other projects without having to like
exactly
touch so much of the DAO's treasury. That's the thing. Like, I mean, like, even at current prices, we should be making, like, with the amount of Pegas we have, I mean, we should be pulling in like crazy amounts, you know? So that's like house money we can now use to go into a little bit more risk for some of these other upcoming safer projects. Like, it's going to add so much more value to like the treasury, you know? And if you compare it to like, you know, all the people that missed out so far, like, they're still kind of watching on the sidelines thinking whether or not. But this is the thing. We have so many options now. Like, I mean, we can stack PGX up, get ready for the CEX listing, or we can, de-risk and just breed Pegas to sell. Like, that's the other thing too. We could just be breeding Pegas. We don't have to like build onto our position anymore. We could just start taking all the money we're making and just breed Pegas and start selling them and get like a 30-40% on those like sales. Like, there's just so many options right now, basically. So it's and the thing is, it's only us and GuildFi that have gotten in like this early. Like I don't like YGG, Merit, Blackpool, Avocado, like, they're not in this right now. Not even like Loot Squad, you know, I mean, they got some, but like none of the other major players. Like, that's the thing. Like, literally the majority of the top players right now are consortium guilds. Like we're like the only two big like guild DAOs that like got in pretty much. So
A lot of FOMO going on in those
yeah,
other
I mean
guilds,
it's
I
crazy.
bet.
Just one extra point here, right? I mean, since we're at this topic of alphas, right? I mean, Jaxie, I'm not sure if you heard of it, but there's this whole move to earn project called Step
Oh,
N.
Speedstar? You're talking about Speedstar, right?
No, Step N. It's an Australian project. STEPN.
Oh, I thought you were gonna talk about Speedstar because they're literally calling it Move to Earn now. There's a Medium article on it.
There are more and more of these.
Yeah.
Move to earn. But yeah, like we've realized that this is the next big thing, right? Because and at least for the economics of Step N, we've realized that the whole burn mechanics is already in place. It's very interesting. Like, and the thing is like, because it's a move to earn, right? People use this as an accountability partner, where it's less from a too much on the earning side of things, but it's more on the, I want a shoe that will force me to run every day, right? So like our team, most of us actually got a pair, and I've been running for the past like 2 weeks. It's insane. I mean, the ROI is insane from a running perspective and also from a breeding perspective, right? And it's still very, very new. I think community is still quite new. It might be something to look at, right? I mean, so just for the guys in the call. So Path is opening up for
Jaxie, just so you know, we're not only the fastest growing guild, we're also the fastest fitness guild as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, I heard of it too. No, I mean, I think all these like upcoming projects with like gaming and such, I mean, I think having them solve these utility and such, it's amazing, honestly, with this space. I should probably mention, I told this to, Awakening. I'm not sure if I brought it up. I got a advisor at MetaVest now too, so I'm helping them going through like gaming projects and such, and I'm seeing crazy projects coming out in the pipeline. Like it's like it makes all the projects that came out the last 12 months like school projects. Like I know we got into Gunzilla, I think, right? Like that's interesting, So there's a lot of projects coming out in this space that I think they're learning from all the mistakes, people have made, and that's great for us. That's great for the community. That's great for like play to earn in general. So I'm extremely, like it's great to see, be here with everyone,
Jaxie, I want to ask just some direct questions because you know this stuff a lot better, and I want to educate like the community here. Can you talk a little bit about like the team behind PathDAO? You mentioned it a bit earlier, but like in terms of like how developed they are, but can you talk a little bit about the team, and then like the second part, you got to hit on the breeding of the horses. Like you're a pro here, so just share with us your knowledge. I know you're writing in the Discord, but we have some people listening here tonight, and I know we're all excited to hear.
Oh, yeah. I guess another thing to mention is I actually own the #1 Pega right now. For those who I told it to, like everyone on the team knows, but I guess for the community, like literally Genesis serial #1.
How do we make a horse sound?
Just letting you guys know, like the team. I think this team is amazing because they listen to the community. That's the thing. It's like, I think it's because like Corey, from what I know, I think he's like 25. That's crazy too. So Corey's their marketing guy, right? So Corey basically is the one who talks to the community. But the developers in the behind the scenes, like they're busy working on this project. What I can say is they're very open to action. Like like you see so many other developers who feel like they kind of know the entire space, and they actually listen to like the community with any suggestions. Like literally, like he even says this, like, we're not the best in this. You know, even in his Twitter AMA he did with Indie GG and I think it was, I'm not sure who else it was, but he even said in the Twitter space that, you know, he doesn't know everything, right? But they're doing their best, and he hopes that, you know, people will give feedback and hopefully they'll learn and, you know, continue what they're doing. But they have excellent customer service. They understand the needs of the customers, and it's really hard to like this. It's honestly, it's like, you have to kind of be there to understand what I'm saying. It's, they're constantly innovating. Like even this whole escrow system they did with the renting, like they saw how much of a pain point it was for Axie managers. Because Corey actually played Axie Infinity, just letting you know. Like he played Axie Infinity. He liked the whole concept, but he just found managing scholars, like just making tools to help managers and guild owners like run a scholarship is valuable, right? So they went out and built these tools to make our life easier. Like, you know, like imagine like even for like PathDAO, like trying to manage like 500 scholars or 600 scholars as an example, you need a lot of people behind the scenes helping with like payroll. You're going to need a lot of people helping with coaching or reassignments and all that such. So what Corey did with, you know, with the team was like, hey, we're going to make tools to help this, to automate the process. So like renting like if you can't find a scholar, because, you know, some guilds might not be able to find a scholar, you can just list it on the marketplace like you would with like eBay or Craigslist or Amazon, basically. And whoever finds it, boom, like you can just like have them rent it. Direct rentals was such an innovation. Like I haven't seen that anywhere else. I mean, just to put it to example, like imagine you're able to rent your Axies out for AXS. Like imagine like you can rent your Axies out for like a month, a day, a week, and people are paying you in AXS tokens, right? Or you can just rent it out and do an SLP split. But instead of you having to manually pay the scholar or you having to like claim it, like it's going to automatically split every time they win a match. So they have some crazy people behind the team, like scenes, you know, like we don't see the people behind the scenes. Like all we really see is Corey and a couple other people, but they, I guess one way you can put it is they're thinking like, you know, like Jeff Bezos as an example, like he's customer focused, and he's literally applying the same methods like to this. He wants to make it easy for people to start a scholarship, to start a guild, and to have these tools available. And by doing that, it's just been blowing up like crazy because, you know, like look at us with PathDAO. Like we don't need anyone to help pay people. Renting assets out has suddenly become so much easier. You don't have to go and make an account. You just need the scholar's Matic address and that's it. Like they get to borrow the assets through their Matic address. Like you literally just need one person. Like this is the thing. Like with like Axie Infinity, as you grew the scholarships, you need more people helping you. With PegAxie, literally you just need one person, which is PathDAO KS. Like you literally just need one person and that's it. Even if you get to 1,000 Pegas, you just need one person. That's it. So they've made it so efficient and easy to operate. Like
he's an amazing contributor.
Who? Oh, yeah, KS. Yeah. He's
KS.
We're
gonna have him.
You know,
we gotta have him on the next one.
Yeah. You can
Jackson, like this is
how much of a difference it is managing all these Pegas. I think he's managing like 500, 600 Pegas. Like, think about this. Like, for those of you guys that played Axie Infinity, like, you know the goals of even managing like 20 scholarships. Think 600 Pegas. Like, one person can handle all that. That's what's amazing is you don't need to bring on additional people with scale. Like, they're constantly innovating and adding these tools. The Apollo dashboard, I think that's what kind of set the whole market like on a frenzy, because what happened was they launched their Apollo tool January 13th, January 14th. As soon as that tool launched, people got to see all the numbers. You guys, that's the thing. You guys can go to apollo.pegaxie.io right now, and you can see like all the metaverse numbers. Like, and once people saw that, they realized like, holy shit, like why aren't we like moving faster? I think the burn rate has been over 90% for like months, basically. And
Alpha.
yeah, like
This is the big information.
people thought like Pegaxi was dying because the thing is, people started dumping this. No, that's the other thing. Okay, this is the other thing. Initially, I forgot to mention this. Yeah. So the other thing is what happened was Pegaxi actually destroyed their economy out the door because they made the same mistake like Axie. All these guilds started coming on board and started giving their scholars like 70%. But there's a guy named Shillbill. I don't know if you guys seen his YouTube channel too, but there's a guy named Shillbill, and he worked closely with Corey, and he was telling Corey, like, look, we should make it to, like, we should try to convince all the guilds that they should pay less than like 30%. Because the thing is, if you start, like, the thing is, scholars, they're great, they work hard, sure, but like, if you're giving 70% of the token supply to scholars, like, what are they gonna do? Well, they're going to dump it because they need money. So, but if you give them less, there's going to be more burns, more price appreciation. Like, they're going to make more with a smaller percentage than they would with like a 70%. So if you go on Apollo Guys right now and just check it out, there's something like 85% of scholars or something like that are getting paid less than 30%. I think it's like almost 45 or 50% are getting paid less than 10. But it's also one of the reasons why the price went so parabolic on this. Was because there was a huge internal struggle like between guilds, but Corey and Chill Bill managed to like convince everyone, like, guys, that like, let's be different. Let's try something different that actually, like, let's be different. Like, why do we have to follow the trend? So all the guilds started like paying their scholars less. But I mean, if you look at how much work you have to do with Pegaxi versus Axie, I mean, all you're doing is clicking buttons right now. Like, there's no skill element yet. The skill element's coming like in Q3, but yeah, because there's less dumps for scholars, like pretty much like everyone's like burning it, and with the prestige system coming up soon, I mean I'm even more bullish for that because you're gonna start having scholars burning tokens as well on their end just to own a Pega. Like it's gonna be interesting. And the other thing is scholars are also renters. So because they let you rent Pegas with PGX, what most scholars are doing is they're actually swapping their VIS for PGX, and they're actually customers like on the renter side as well. So they're renting Pegas for like 40 PGX, 50 PGX, 60 PGX, whatever the price is, right? So that's the biggest difference is with Axie Infinity, the majority of your customers are basically people with money, right? Like investors, right? Scholars weren't going to be customers because they're going to have to save up for like 10 months to buy their own Axie team. With this rental model, like now a scholar, they can just play for 2 weeks, take their VIS, convert it to PGX, and start renting Pegas and keeping 100% of the income. So it's basically like rental arbitrage. So because of that, now scholars are also customers. There's a group called Board Punks of Society. They're a really big Filipino like NFT group. You can see people are actually renting Pegas for PGX. They swap their VIS. They look for the arbitrage. Like they look for people that are like renting their Pegas at a really cheap price, and they're basically arbitraging their way so that way they can like get move faster towards ownership, right? So that's the thing I think that really set this off is it's not just investors who are like owning, but you have scholars that are customers as well. So
no,
it's a
for
very
sure.
interesting model, yeah.
Yeah, there's just so much cool stuff going on with this, and I think like we all appreciate so much like your contribution and like what you're doing. I know like immediately when we announced the first alpha winners last month, it was like immediate people were like, he's not an alpha winner, he's like a super alpha winner, and tonight we're doing a different type of AMA, but 100% Jaxie, like we gotta have you back on like almost immediately so that you can give us some updates on this stuff. I think that like it's great to have like the contribution of alpha, but like yeah, you can hear just even in your talking about this stuff, it's not like you just sort of passed on something. Like you really have like thought about all this stuff, and and done some major analysis, and that is only continuing. But I also want to use this as like an opportunity to show like our community how people can contribute, right? Basically, you know, you write ideas in the Discord, you do all this stuff, but we have this ongoing like alpha competition. I don't think it was hard for you to enter, right? Can you just give a little bit of motivation to like the rest of our community about like, yeah, like how, cause like we're all building together, right? So, you know, how hard was it? Was it easy? Was it hard? You know, what kind of steps does the community take here in general to give ideas?
I think the DAO, they're getting a lot of suggestions from people. I mean, I think, it wasn't as like, well, I'm invested in the project too, right? But I see it working really well, and I wanted the DAO to succeed too, because I'm heavily invested with the DAO as well, right? I think it was a really good opportunity. I mean, we're all making money now, right? I mean, we're in a good position, but yeah, I think for people who want to, get their project taken seriously, just like fight for it. I literally have to fight, to like, not fight in a way, but like, you have to break it down really hard, so that way, even Jansen, I think was a bit hesitant at first too, but I'm like, look, like this is what's gonna happen. Like you have to, they launched all these tools and stuff. I mean, it's gonna be much more efficient, and the biggest difference is we're early, like we're actually first to the party, not like dead last, right? But yeah, I mean, I guess for people who want to submit alphas and such, just put in, just consider this as, like how you, like what would you, like how much work would you want to put into something before you put money into it, right? Or something like that. Like, I think that's, one way to put it. But no, I mean, I think it's great, guys, as a community, right? Because at the end of the day, this is our project as a group. So, I think, one way or another, we're all in the same ship, right? So let's, steer it in the right direction, right? Yeah. Any questions from anyone in the community or,
No, 100%, Jaxie. Like I know, I knew I was going to learn a lot from you tonight, and just hearing you talk about all this stuff, like we got to follow up on this really soon. This is a kind of a leading point on what we're doing in terms of the investment allocations at this point, and these happy hours this is not going to be like a once a month like type of thing. We're going to be doing these on a regular basis. So I'm really excited about having you back and doing another one. I'll just tell everybody too, like, Jaxie's like really, really involved in the community channels, and in all the channels. And obviously he's contributing alpha, but if anyone in the community, sorry to speak for you here, Jaxie, but like if anyone in the community has questions or wants to touch base with him on anything that he said tonight, like, I know from my interaction so far, he's like super open to that stuff. And, he's also just doing a lot. He has a YouTube channel. He has a Discord group. This is a community member who's out there like scraping the floor, digging up the info, and then bringing it back to us. So, tonight I think was really only like the start of us talking.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, I think, I do have YouTube guys and Discord. So, they're mostly for people wanting to get into play to earn or start their own guild or scaling a guild up. So yeah, I mean, it's all out there. Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, I do this pretty much every day, like I love, before I got into the whole gaming crypto side, I would spend all my time. I would spend all my time literally just like playing games that, didn't really like pay anything. But now like I remember my wife used to nag about me playing like games and spending all my time. But now it's like, okay, like at least I'm making money from my time I'm spending looking for games to play and games, that'll make a difference, right? So, I think, yeah, I mean, it's really fun at the end of the day too. Like, as long as you're having fun doing this. I know some people just want to make money too, which is great. But, I think once you're really passionate about something, yeah, I mean, I'm just really passionate about what I'm doing, I guess.
No, like 100% there, right? First of all, you got it. Wife always has priority. Family has priority. We were talking with Toby earlier about school and stuff. There's priorities in life,
Yeah.
but there's also opportunities, right? And I saw it kind of in the text Discord, but hearing from you tonight and hear you speak, it's obvious that like you viewed an opportunity, and we're grateful that you're part of like our group because you brought that opportunity like to us.
Hmm. Yeah.
I want to bring
Yeah, I think this is,
bring
like I said,
Toby.
I think it's, great.
Yeah, I
Hmm?
want to bring Toby. I want to bring Toby back in. Because like that's what's so cool about what we're doing, right? Is like we have this incredible alpha coming in like from like the community members, and then for example, like we have someone like Toby who is literally like leading an army of like the gamers, right? So like when we
Yeah.
look at our investment and our like our entry to PegAxi, like, yes, we have the treasure, we have the ability to do it, but it's a coordinated effort, right? And then whether it's KS, whether it's Toby, like there's people on the guild side that are immediately engaging what the DAO treasury side is doing, and that's really where a lot of the opportunity comes from, because it's that coordination within the DAO.
Mm. No,
So
absolutely. And I mean, I think, I mean, there are people that invested into projects, but I mean, you do have to like put a little bit of time and effort, I guess, to make sure it like pays off too, I mean, I know PathDAO has been off to a little bit of a shaky start, but I think all these, it takes time for all these deals to kind of work out and get all these projects up and running, I mean, like take PegAxi as an example. Like if we wanted to spend $1 million in it, it's going to take like weeks, literally weeks to like spend all that. So, I mean, I'm overall, I like the direction the DAO is going. I know we've had, there's a lot of people, we've had our ups and downs, but the way I look at it though is like, compared to other projects I've seen, like DAO wise, like, Jansen's really on point with these projects, and, we have amazing support team here who are actively like leading the charge and getting alpha from community members and getting them to, actively get involved. Like, I think that's a winning formula, like sooner or later, right?
yeah,
I guess we'll see our moment, for sure.
No, for sure. Like we're building together, and it's tough, right? Because like I don't think the community doesn't have a like a live video into like the room every day on what we're doing on the team side. But 100% the team is working really hard on this. But that being said, we're at where we're at right now because of community members like you. And we wanted to feature you like on this first kind of happy hour conversation with everybody, because you're a great example of like how we're building together. Toby also, he's a great example of how we're building together. Jansen talked a little bit about tonight about the 5 pillars, right? Like that's going to be a big thing going forward, because like I can tell you guys, like we have a lot of really, really big things coming up, and it's almost overwhelming from a team side, because like we're engaging more people to help us with everything, and the growth plan, like listening to Jansen talk tonight, right? Yeah, we're at 5,000 scholars. Like when I heard that, I was like over the moon. And then all of a sudden tonight we're talking to him about like, growth projections, all this kind of stuff. And, he's not going from, 4 digits to 5 digits. He's really, really pumping that up. So I want to,
I mean, if you think about it too, it's only been like 2 months since the DAO launch. If you think about it, like we got like the amount of work that was done in 2 months is like, just even to get to 5,000, because I mean the DAO started in December basically, and to be at 5,000 in like 2 months, like that's it's not an easy task, so.
No, not at all. And I think what's so cool is that, like, hearing from these guys, like Jetson's not saying, oh, we're at 5,000, we want to be at 6,000, like we want to, like there's a difference between like the battles and the war, right? Like the real score is going to be taken like 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years from now. And, obviously there's a lot of discussion about token price and that kind of stuff within the Discord group. But I think it's just important that, we remind everyone like what we're doing and like the total vision of the ecosystem. And, we're always going to have people that are coming in and coming out. But like we're really building something here. And what I've seen happen over the last 2 months, like since the IDO, is really a very, very capable team coming together with an extremely talented and smart community. And that's the essence of like what we're building here.
Yeah, I mean, I also see a lot of people talking about, like I understand too, but at the same time, it's like, we're all, at the end of the day, like this is, a community effort. And, I think everyone, as long as we all kind of contribute and work together our way up, I mean, we'll have our moment, I mean, look at, it's not just us either, but there's all these other, like competing for like all these projects coming up at an early stage. It's getting really, really hard, guys. Like, I mean, I've seen, because I'm also advisor at MetaVest now too. So I see how competitive it's getting. Like, it's like, I know, Awakening talked about, KOLs being irrelevant this year. I think it's like gonna happen because they're not really providing a lot of value, and upcoming projects, like they to attract gamers, like having super guilds are also one way. I think it's like if like a VC came around and just offered money, but then you have a super guild, or even guilds or consortium. We're seeing consortiums being set up too now. If they offer the same amount, like they're gonna get the spot at the end of the day, because like money doesn't really mean a thing now with upcoming projects. Like they need gamers, they need people who have ecosystems. Like even KOLs now, like they're getting such a bad rap. I think this is going to be the year where we're going to see like guilds and organizations like consortiums and such really like standing out. And I think we're going to see, and I think we're already seeing like VCs kind of like seeing this and taking that approach now. Like they're going to have to start thinking about how they can stand out, aside from just connections. Like they're going to have to like bring more to the table. I think the Medium article with PathDAO back in, I think it was like early January, kind of spelled it all out, right? Like it's not just a DAO with a VC arm. Like we're going to need to provide ecosystems. And I think that's really what's going to be key this year. Cause, like if you look at a game like Gunzilla that we're in, there's games like that are going to be coming out this year, next year, right? And, if you're just writing money on a check, like I don't think that's going to be acceptable as much going forward. So yeah, I think it's a really good position. Just, I guess we can check back in a year and see, but I'm pretty sure this year, yeah, like all those KOLs are probably going to get the boot.
Jaxie, thank you so much for talking with us. Obviously, this is going to be this is the first conversation. I want to let Toby back in. We had Toby earlier, and then we kind of cut him off and stuff like that. But Jaxie, like, thank you, like from all of us for like contributing this important like alpha last month. I think this is a really good example of how somebody can like come in, like, I mean, you said it yourself, like you look back 1-2 years. It's not like you were in this type of position and now you're able to work with PathDAO and you're able to literally submit an online form. The team reviews that,
No,
and
yeah,
within
that's the thing, guys.
and
Like literally,
within
like
within what, like a couple of days,
I
like
just
they're
started
they're
crypto like
executing on
February of
this.
last year. Like that's the thing.
Yeah, no, it's really something special, and I just like I'm grateful for you, the team, the community is grateful, and this is just the first time that we're gonna have you in here. Toby, can you hear me?
Yes, sirree.
Yeah, yeah. So listen, before we end here, I want to touch base with you, right? I want to get a little more information on like what's going on with the Scholar program. I know you guys got some tournaments, a bunch of stuff going on. Can you give us just a little overview before we end the happy hour tonight, or the happy
Okay.
2 hours, I guess?
Okay, so hi everyone, I guess I'm back again. So just to give you guys a little update of what we are going to do and what is going on. So currently we actually have a guild war with some of the guilds other than Path. So if you head to our tournament announcements, we actually have a partnership with One Stacks Gaming and Huga Gaming. If you guys don't know who they are, maybe go check them out. They're actually like XC scholarships, but they are trying to progress into other things as well. So we recently hosted a XC tournament, which has like a prize pool of 500 USD. But this thing is ongoing for the entire month. So there will be different type of games, whether be it Web 2, Web 3. So yeah, for the entire month, every week there will be a new game for you to play, and yeah, it's completely free. So if you think you have the talent, do represent us and go get yourself some prize monies. Ooh. But other than that, yeah, a lot of people has been asking about like the Pegasus side of things, and like our scholars in general. So we have been moving like the wallets. Yeah, we have been transferring assets from one wallet to the other. So it might take some time for us to get back to you guys. And there's a lot of wallets saying, yeah, you guys are saying that it's staying in the and it's being like rented out to others. But just give us some time. We're actually like handling it. As you guys know, Cass has to handle like that many amount of horses alone. So I'll just do some math for you. So assuming that like around 400 Pegas, he has, and for Trezor wallet, he's transferring one asset from the other. So per Pega, he has to click 3 times. So if there's 400 Pegas, he has to click at least a minimum of 120 1,200 buttons. So yeah, guys, so give you a moment to set things aside first. Then we will give you guys a very clear announcement on like how we are gonna what we're gonna progress. So just to give you guys some heads up, we're actually really looking into other games other than Pegasus right now. We don't want this to be a funnel, or we don't want this to be solely dependent on the uh on Pega. So how long do we plan to keep the 10%? And are we allowed to get another Pegasus scholarship to another manager from the other percent? Sure, you're definitely allowed to. And like right now we're still actually planning on how we want to do things. So just give us some moment and like give us some time to think about it, and like yeah. So let's check on other things that we want to update you guys on. We're actually trying to reform the leaderboards right now. So we're trying to make the infrastructure better, and definitely we want you guys to be here and stay with us for a bit longer, as we are trying to give you more opportunities to play more different games other than uh yeah Pega and whatnot. So there's definitely way more different games out there, and we're trying to expand not towards just one side of the game, but rather we want to grow a community of gamers. So yeah, I think yeah. So are we allowed to get another Pegasus scholarship from a different manager, though it's legal? Yeah, you are allowed to. So yeah, Chaos has been under a lot of stress recently because everyone has been pinging. So shout out to him also. So yeah, if you guys want to drop any questions in the chat, you guys definitely can. So just drop some, just a question.
Toby,
Yeah.
if you say some questions, you're gonna have like hundreds of people hitting you up.
It's like
No. For anyone that hasn't like done a Twitch or hasn't like visited Toby with what he's doing with the community, I really suggest it because like honestly, Toby, all respect, like you're such a great community leader here. I know that we have a lot of like really strong community leaders, but I I had really fun. Like my first time connecting with Toby was, do you remember this when you were hosting a Twitch event? And I
yeah.
saw it. I was in the Discord channel. I kind of just like hopped in, right? I was like, oh, this looks cool. Like, let's see what's going on. And the energy that Toby has and the connection that he has with the community, yeah, it's really incredible. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to like feature you, on our first happy hour, which I guess in the future we're going to have to call this happy 2 hours, or we'll have to cut it down. But just Toby, real quick, let's what's the most popular game with the scholars right now?
I would say Legacy because with everyone hyping up and everyone wanting to get a scholarship. But if we are not talking about Web3 gaming though, Mobile Legends has been like a very popular thing. Every time like I try and host an event for Mobile Legends, bang bang, that mobile game, everyone just like goes crazy and participates and they start playing the like 5v5 just casually, just playing for fun. Other games to take note is we do have Dota 2 casual pubs. So like whenever I'm bored or but the gamers, everyone has their own uh game that they prefer. We sometimes play FPS like Valorant together. Some of us like hang out in the chill zone playing PUBG together. Sometimes we don't even play games together. We just hang out and chill and listen to music and do our own stuff. So yeah, a favorite game, if you're gonna be talking about Web3, it's definitely Legacy. But if like casual gaming, everyone just has their own thing. So yeah.
Okay, Toby, one last question before I let you go. Very clear, you're a leader in the community, but like we're doing something incredible here, right? And I think you realize this more than anybody, because you're dealing on not only a day to day, but like an hourly basis, like with a lot of the gamers and the scholars, right? And
Yeah.
you're creating a way for these people to make money, for these people to support families, for these people to support their education. Like, tell us, just share a little bit about what being part of like PathDAO like means to you, because obviously it's not just about like playing games. It's grown really quickly and beyond that.
Yeah. So damn. If you actually like want me to talk about it, there's so much that comes to my mind actually. So Um, at first, it was very scary being a part of like such a large community. I found out this place through a friend of mine that recommended me to everything empty, which is Wiki, if you guys know. So I was like very bored during the start of January. I was looking for something to do. At that time, I was just playing Axie Infinity all day and looking into some crypto stuff. But eventually, I found PathDAO and like I entered as like just a helping hand, like just a small community manager to like hype out the crowd, But then it suddenly became like, you now you can help people actually. You can provide opportunities to people and you can literally sponsor them, help them. I remember there was a very big disaster that hit the Philippines that time, and everyone was crowdfunding here, and we actually helped out a lot of people within the community as well. So that's actually like generally there's nothing that I don't think there's a word you can describe with it. It's just like, whoa, we are doing so much and we're changing so many lives. So yeah, kind of happy to do so. To help people, help giving opportunities to people to help their own. Even myself, I'm like helping myself bit by bit every single day. With Path. So this means a lot to me to be able to help you guys. So thank you guys for giving me this opportunity to be a meme. Yeah, I'm pretty much memeing. So I actually don't know what I've been doing for like the majority of the times, but I'm just here having fun, and I'm just really glad to be here. So yeah, ooh.
Well,
Yeah.
Toby, like we appreciate your energy, right? And don't like downplay your like contribution like whatsoever. Like you're a big part of what we're doing. You're a leader like within the community, and like I think it's really cool tonight. Like we're hearing from like Jansen, right? Who is, you know, when I had my first talk with Jansen, I left the talk and I was like, okay, this is the smartest guy in the room, and that's the person I want to be working with and learning from. And then all of a sudden, like because of the technology that exists now, like and even in platforms like Discord, Telegram, Jansen then is able to connect with all these other people like Jaxie, right? Toby, like you're saying, like you first heard from Wiki, right? And so I think what's so amazing is that like we're bringing all of this brain power together. And I really want to like encourage the community, like whether it's the alpha competition, whether it's, we've had some really good suggestions just even on, hey, you should do this on the website. There's no contribution that is too small. And I know that like from a team perspective, like a lot of stuff that we've talked about is how do we reward the community for any type of contribution, right? So like look for the alpha competition to like really expand. It's not just about like giving that investment alpha, but like we're really trying to all build together here. And it's important that everybody understands that like community is really at the leading edge of everything that we're trying to do at PathDAO. And if there's not an immediate response in the Discord on a topic, the reason is because like we love seeing the community build, it's community and it's team. And like when I look at the call tonight with Jaxie, with Toby, with Jensen, like even with Floppy,
Hey,
like
guys.
we're all coming together. It's a cool thing.
Yeah, guys, I actually have to balance because it's like 10 o'clock. But
Yeah,
appreciate
we're
it.
gonna close it up. Jackson, we're gonna include you again though, because you got some like we want to get an
Yeah,
update on
yeah.
Pegaxi and
Yeah, let me
appreciate
know, you know.
appreciate you
Yeah,
coming tonight.
absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Toby will personally approach you to talk about more about details. Yeah, I want to learn more from you actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
you've been
Jackson,
very
before
kind
you
to us.
go,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I love your profile
yeah.
pic
That's
with
my
that
pleasure.
shirt. Cool. Well, I really appreciate everybody listening tonight. Again, this is our first happy hour. Look for this type of format, like really going forward. In the past, we've had AMAs, like directly with partners. We've had town halls. I will give a little preview, but we're going to be announcing another AMA directly after this, tomorrow with Space Misfits. Which is a new partner of ours. But look for an increased rate of the AMAs. Look for more engagement from the community. I'm excited. We're building here. We're growing the team. We're growing the community. We have a lot of really cool stuff going on. And, if anybody has any requests, any like questions, like never hesitate to reach out to myself, any members of the team in the Discord, Telegram. We're here for you guys and we really want to build together. So Jansen, you want to say a closing comment here to everybody?
Massive thanks again for dialing in, guys. What we are building here is going to be big, right? Because I think what we've seen is the space in itself it's massive. We have a massive community, both from the DAO perspective and from the gamer perspective. And I think what's going to happen is, there'll be more and more things that we'll be introducing, be it from a roles that you guys can come and participate in, and be it from also the projects that we're going to launch and incubate, right? I mean, it's a very exciting space, and we are builders. We're going to keep on building. So I think that's what I will leave on is a note for you folks to look at under our announcement, right? Have a look at the contributors channel. I just tagged everyone there, right? But basically, we are having more as we grow the community bigger. There are more and more roles where you can actually play an active part in the DAO, right? Be it becoming some content creators, heading some games, helping us with alphas, right? So I think it'd be great if you folks want to be more actively involved. We will reward you proportionally, right? But there's a Google form to sign up for you to be part of the more extended team, right, that we are building here. So yeah, I think I'll leave you guys on a note, right? There's a lot of cool stuff to be building up together. So why don't let's officially build it together, right?
Yeah, 100%. So, everyone, thank you so much for listening in tonight. Look for an announcement coming out in the DAO announcement channels, also posted in the Telegram and in the different groups. We're going to be doing an AMA, roughly 22 hours from now with Space Misfits. We have a lot going on the next week. I don't want to mention any dates or any exact names or anything like that, but Jansen already alluded to it tonight that we have a CEX listing confirmed and coming up very soon. So I appreciate everyone coming in tonight. Like Toby, you're a critical part about what's going on. Jaxie, we're all grateful, and the same kind of thing. You're playing a big role here. Jansen, you're leading a really big project. Floppy, he's going to be contributing a lot to these AMAs going forward. I got a text message from him, and he had to run a little bit because he has 2 young children at the house, and family takes priority. But that being said, PathDAO, we're a big family, and can't wait to connect with everybody soon. So thank you so much all for listening tonight, and let's go.
Right. Cheers, guys.
Here's to a better future of Lambda. I don't know, Papa, no.
So